Skinny Hardaway Southern T, back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, I greatly appreciate you sliding through. If it's your first time, do your boy solid. Don't make it your last time. Hit that subscription button as well. We talk these good boxing, MMA, sports, parlays, predictions every single day, not just today. Today, we here with a morning boxing EP, man. We gonna talk about, this big fight weekend that just passed. Right, we had 3 monster cards. Right, y'all saw what I did there. 3 monster cards. Monster Nue last night with the knockout. I kid, I joke. But anyway, I digress, man. But we had 3 monster cards this weekend. Some people loved it, right? Some people hated it. It's boxing. It's hard to please everybody. Since the longest I've been on YouTube, right, very seldomly is everyone, you know what I mean, satisfied with, the fights or what's going on. It's some fights that people love that I thought was whack, right? It's some fights that I thought were good that, people think whack, right? So it's all opinion based, right? But that's not necessarily really what I want to talk about this morning. I want to go a little deeper this morning, right? I kind of want to talk about something that people aren't necessarily talking about, right? But as far as, the fight weekend's card being, boring or shit, pretty much it went the way I expected, like fight to fight. Y'all know I predict fights. I do this. So pretty much fight to fight. It went how I expected, right? But something that I do want to talk about that really ain't getting talked about that we gonna talk about today is Ryan Garcia and what he looked like this fight versus Ryan Garcia and what he looked like his fight versus Devin Haney, right? And also, Ryan Garcia said something in the post-fight press conference that I don't see many people talking about. Maybe you didn't hear it. Some people don't watch the post-fight press conference. I watched the post-fight press conference the next day, but I actually watched this press conference the same night, which is why I heard this information that I'm about to give y'all. You know what I mean? But the thing that people aren't really talking about, is Ryan Garcia, his performance, what he looked like versus Ryan Garcia, his performance, and what he looked like last time. I would even go back as far as to start this before he even stepped in the ring to perform, right? I could take this back as far as how Ryan Garcia was acting in the lead up to this fight versus in the lead up, to that Devin Haney fight, right? But it's an elephant in the room, right? It's an elephant in the room right now, and people seem to be tiptoeing around the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is that Ryan Garcia looked like a completely different fighter this fight. Now, I know what some people gonna say. I know what some people gonna say. Some people gonna say, well, it was Rolly. It was Rolly that made Ryan Garcia fight like that, right? Some people gonna say, well, he looked the same. I'm gonna say, man, he didn't have no energy, no stamina. He got tired this fight. Some people gonna say, well, he got tired last fight, right? But let's really get into, the actual numbers, right? Let's get into the actual factuals of what happened, right? This fight, Ryan Garcia, he didn't even throw 30 hooks. You know what I mean? He didn't throw 30 hooks. If you watch the post-fight press conference, then you know that this is true. Ryan Garcia didn't throw 30 hooks this fight. The fight versus Devin Haney, he was spamming left hooks all night long. Literally all night long. People say, he gassed against Devin too. He gassed against Roy. I don't necessarily think he gassed in either fight, but I will tell you this. He was a lot less ferocious, right? It looked like he had a lot less power in this fight. It looked like he was a lot slower in this fight. And if you don't want to take my word for you, I got another one for you. If you didn't watch the press conference, right? If you didn't watch the press conference, in the press conference, the reporter asked him, did you feel any different tonight? The reporter asked him, let me do a sound check real quick. But let me sound check real quick. The reporter asked him, Ryan, the reporter asked Ryan Garcia. Make sure I can. The reporter asked Ryan Garcia, in the post-fight interview, he said, Ryan, did you feel any different tonight? Ryan said, well, the venue didn't really feel authentic. It was outside. He said something about, the car fumes from the car that he rode out in, right? But the most important thing that Ryan Garcia said last night, right, that I don't think people caught, maybe people didn't catch it, right? But the most important thing Ryan said last night, well, the other night, right, the reporter asked him, Ryan, did you feel any different? And Ryan said, yeah, he said, maybe I felt a bit slower. Now, this is Ryan Garcia who said this out his mouth. You don't believe me? I got the interview, here, waiting and ready, right? It's on, I think it was Fight Hub. It was like a 10-minute post-fight interview. Ryan Garcia said he felt slow in this fight around 7 minutes and 41 seconds, something like that, around 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Go check that, I think it's Fight Hub. It's a Fight Hub video. Ryan Garcia said he felt a little bit slow in the ring. So this is not me saying that Ryan Garcia looked slow. I was saying during the fight. I was saying when Ryan was hitting the speed bag in the lead up to the fight, right? Because you've been watching boxing for a minute. You've been following Ryan and Tank and Devin and Shakur and Raymond Ford and all those guys, right? You've been following them for a minute. You kind of know that Ryan Garcia got his name out hitting that speed bag, looking all fast and shit, right, on the way up. Type deal. He was hitting the speed bag in preparation in a viral workout, right? In the public workout for this fight. I said he looked slow then. And then he went on there on fight day, he looked slow in the ring. And then after the post-fight press conference, Ryan Garcia confirmed what I had been saying for the longest, that he even looked slower than he looked when he fought Devin. People say, well, PED's not going to help you land a punch. It's not going to help you blah, blah, blah. Yes, it will. It does make you faster. It does make you stronger. It does help you land a punch. It came right from Ryan Garcia's, and I like how I got 9 people in here and only 2 people said something, because that means most of y'all probably on the side of, most of y'all probably the people that I need to be talking to who's on the side of, who was defending Ryan Garcia and whatnot, saying that Devin didn't lose because y'all finna get y'all this morning. Hold on, let me go get my roll up. Y'all finna get y'all this. Man, if I'm taking y'all with me to get my roll up, because I don't want y'all to go nowhere. Right? It was a large portion of people saying that, Devin didn't lose that fight to Ryan because of steroids. He lost that fight to Ryan because he couldn't get out the way of that left hook, right? Now, it's a fight. So, of course, Ryan landed a left hook, right? But Ryan's hooks, he didn't throw as many. They weren't as efficient. They weren't as fast, right? He didn't have the same kind of energy. He didn't have the same kind of, shit. Even he didn't have the same kind of dog in him. You know what I mean? He didn't have the same kind of dog in him, right, that he had when he fought Devin Haney. Let's take a step back even before Ryan, admitted to being slow. Let's take a step back, right? Just his attitude in the build-up. Where the fuck is my roll-up? His attitude in the build-up with Ryan was different than his attitude in the build-up with Rolly. Right? You know what I mean? Just his whole persona. Sudden T, what you mean? If people who know how, PEDs work, these drugs work, and whatnot. When you're taking steroids, when you're taking performance-enhancing drugs, it makes you more angry. It makes you more hype. It makes you more jittery. It gets you more amped up. He was real cool. He was real subtle. He was real calm. You know what I mean? He was real calm in this lead up to this fight, right? He was like a whole different person from the Devin Haney saga and this Ryan Garcia thing. He kept saying in the post-fight interview, I don't know if y'all watched it, but if y'all haven't watched it, y'all should watch. If y'all haven't watched it, y'all should watch it. He kept saying, I felt off. Something wasn't right. I just wasn't there. He was like, I saw the punches. I just couldn't land. He's like, I saw the punches. I just couldn't land. What you had him for, bro? What you had him for, DS? Don't have him, bro. What you doing? He ain't say nothing, bro. What you had him for? I'm finna unblock you, Christian. Don't block nobody, DS. He ain't even say nothing, bro. He said Ryan needs to get back on PEDs. I unhit you, Christian. I unhit you, Christian, bro. He's saying Ryan needs to get back on PEDs because he sucked. Don't have him. Don't have him, DS. Don't have him, man. Don't have him, brother. Yeah, don't have him. Like let him kick. Like let him cook. Y'all the only people talking. You gonna shoot the only other dude who dropped the comment, man. Nah, man, you gonna mess me up, DS. You gonna mess me up like that, my brother. You gonna mess me up like that, my brother. Oh, yeah. Bro, where my shit? It's terrible. It's terrible. I can't find my other roller. But yeah, I digress. I digress, man. But just his whole persona, that just threw me off. What the fuck is my rap? His whole persona, right? His whole persona was different. You know what I mean? His whole persona was different in the lead up to that fight. And it's people who will really tell you that Devin didn't lose that fight because of steroids. Devin lost that fight because Ryan was better. He couldn't get out of the way of that hook. Well, the steroids made the hook faster, right? The steroids made the hook stronger, right? The steroids gave Ryan more juice, gave Ryan more energy, clearly gave him something that he feel like that he's missing now. He kept saying in the press conference, I just didn't feel it. I didn't feel right. I didn't feel like I was all there. It didn't feel authentic. He kept saying I just couldn't get to the spot. He said I saw it, but it's like I couldn't reach the spot, right? He felt slower. He don't even feel like himself when he not on his PEDs at this point. You know what I mean? But people still will sit there and tell you, nah, that was all Rolly. People who was telling you that Rolly wasn't shit, that Rolly was trash. Now they'll tell you that, oh, Rolly did that. Rolly made him fight like that. That was all Rolly that did that. Now, it wasn't no all fucking Rolly that did that. Even Ryan himself knows that. I think what happened Friday with Ryan Garcia was acceptance. He was struggling. He was searching for answers. But I think what needs to happen with Ryan Garcia is acceptance. Accept the fact that you're really not that good without your fucking steroids. Ryan Garcia is really the fraud. Ryan Garcia is the fraud. Ryan Garcia is the fraud that everybody wants Devin Haney to be. So, see what you mean? People were praising Ryan Garcia. First of all, people were shitting on Ryan Garcia for the longest, right? And then he fought Tank. They became friends or whatnot, right? And then they both ganged up against Devin. And then people started to give Ryan Garcia some credit, right? Then they started to get more nice to him when Tank became nice to him, right? Because a lot of these people move whatever Tank do. They whole persona is based off what Tank do, right? So once Tank start opening the door for him a little bit, then they start opening the door for him a little bit. And then once they tag teamed up against Devin, then it became the Ryan Garcia and Tank tag team, right? And then Ryan Garcia popped dirty, and Tank kind of fell on up off it. But his fans continued to back continued to back Ryan because Ryan beat up Devin that night that they said wasn't the steroids. Right? You know what I mean? So you had a whole portion of people, bigging up Brian saying, well, he beat Devin because of the skill, the talent. Devin can't get out of where the hook. That's why he beat him. Ryan Garcia didn't even throw 30 hooks his last fight. He didn't throw 30 hooks, let alone land all those left hooks he landed on Devin. What other fight have y'all seen Ryan Garcia land that many right hooks on somebody, right? And if he landed like that, right, you probably ain't gonna see him land a lot because he's probably gonna knock the guy out. So Devin should get even more credit now, right, for not getting knocked out by a guy who was clearly on steroids, by a guy who was clearly wasn't as fast this last fight, wasn't as strong this last fight, didn't have that dog, that killer instinct in him this last fight. Man, Devin hit Ryan Garcia so hard that last fight. What Ryan Garcia do? That boy said, come on, yeah. And he clapped his gloves together. Devin hit that man. He didn't even fall. He buckled him. Devin buckled him, but he ain't fouled. But he capped his legs. He said, yeah, come on. Look at all of the energy. Look at all of the energy that he had that night in that ring versus Devin. And y'all really will sit up here and tell me that fighter you saw yesterday was the same exact fighter that fought Devin Haney. It's not. Because honestly, he probably wasn't half the fighter he was Friday as he was when he fought Devin. And I mean that literally. He probably wasn't half the fighter he was Friday that he was when he fought Devin. Because when he fought Devin, his ass was on the juice. And there's still people who won't admit. It's still people who tell you that left hook. Devin barely got touched with the left hook, right? Devin barely got touched with the left hook his last fight. And Ryan barely even threw left hooks his last fight. Barely even threw hooks his last fight. Devin damn near didn't get touched with a hook his last fight. Ryan damn near didn't even throw a hook his last fight. And Ryan admitted to that if you watch that post-fight interview. In that post-fight interview, they asked him about it. They said, Ryan, you threw less than 30 hooks tonight. Ryan said, yeah, I threw a lot of jabs today. I mainly just, had my jab going today. Trying to work the jab, you know what I mean? And he didn't even throw any left hooks. He admitted to throwing mostly jabs in that fight. Why is this big change? Why was this such a drastic change in your performance, bro? From one fight to this fight. He said the year layoff. Well, Devin was out a year too, right? And then people go say what they want to say about Devin. Devin didn't give me enough offense or whatever. Devin did what Devin does. Devin did what Devin does when y'all used to call him boring and say, y'all used to call him boring and a runner and all that. Devin fought his style of fight. You know what I mean? He said activist was bad, nigga was off the juice. Right. Devin fought a traditional, Devin fought a classic Devin fight. So now they go change the narrative to boring. Right? Now they go change Shay girl. Tell him again, Shay. Now they go change the narrative to boring. It was boring. Everything was boring. It was bad boxing. I hated it. They gonna say that to avoid to have this conversation that I'm having with you right now. Now it's back to Devin boring. Really, what they wanted was to see Devin get beat the fuck up. And once Devin barely didn't get touched, they reverted right back to what they know, which was, boring. It's boring. Oh, it's boring. I don't like it. Did nothing happen? People would tell you that card was bad, and you possibly got the biggest upset of the year if you're going by the numbers, right? If you're going by Vegas, if you're going by betting, if you're going by what people actually thought, not your feelings, but what actually was on the line. That's the biggest upset up until this year. Ryan Garcia was highly more favored to beat Rolly than Devin was to beat Ryan. And Devin and Ryan got scratched from the book, so that fight never happened. But what I'm saying is this was literally the biggest upset in boxing in like the last 10 years if you're going by the numbers, right? But people will tell you it was boring. You know what I mean? And they only telling you it was because Rolly and Haney-Garcia wasn't boring. Wasn't a boring fight. Ramirez and Devin Haney wasn't a boring fight unless you wanted to see Devin get punched on. If you came here to see what Devin looked like off of your layoff, I guarantee you was highly satisfied with what you saw. Him not be able to let a brawler even land on him, right? That dude couldn't even land on him, Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez normally throws a bunch of punches, right? People want to blame, it was boring. Jose Ramirez normally throw a whole lot of punches. He couldn't throw a lot of punches. Devin neutralized him. It's boxing. Some of y'all actually probably are MMA fans. Y'all won't fool. Some of y'all not really don't like boxing. Some of y'all like fighters who box, right? Some of y'all like fighters who box. You know what I mean? Because if you actually like the boxing, what you saw from Devin and Teo actually was what you came to see. Guys hit and not get hit. Now, Teo got hit more than Devin, but, same kind of thing happened. Teo went in there, outclassed him, outboxed him, right? Hit, don't be hit. Some of y'all like to see fights, and that's cool. Anyway, put on a fight last night with Cardenas, right? And I told y'all Cardenas won the whole either. Anyway, put on a fight last night. They was fighting. They went in there high guard. They was fighting. That's not necessary. That's not how boxing was written down in the rule. But when boxing was first written down, that's not what it was supposed to look like. Rock 'em, sock 'em, boom, boom, trade. That's not. Is hit and not get hit. Y'all like fights, and ain't nothing wrong with it. Entertainment. It is an entertainment portion of it. But what that Friday card was people that's supposed to went out there and handle business. T.O. went out there and handled business. Devin went out there and handled business. Ryan was supposed to handle business. Ryan didn't handle his business. To say that those fights were boring, though, I think that's just niggas putting the buck on the 50 because it was Devin. It was a Devin fight. Now you gotta have something bad to say about Haney, right? You gotta have something bad to say about Haney. So you can't judge his performance because it was flawless. It was a masterclass boxing performances. So what do people say when they see masterclass boxing performances from fighters that they don't like? What do people say? What do people say when they see masterclass performances from people that they don't like? They say it was boring. Like, so basically people just reverted back to what they've been saying about Devin, because to avoid the conversation that we're having now, right? Because now you got to steer it to, the card is boring, instead of talking about how bad Ryan Garcia actually looked in this fight coming off of his steroid use. That should be the topic. Why did Ryan look like a whole different person, right? Why did Ryan go from throwing over 100 hooks to throwing 30 hooks, right? Ryan himself said, I felt slow. Why do you feel slow, Ryan? Ryan himself said, I didn't feel like I was all there. What you mean you didn't feel like you was all there, Ryan? Ryan himself said it didn't feel authentic. He said, I could hear Shakur Stevenson in the crowd. I could hear Richard Hitchison in the crowd. It just wasn't the same. He made every excuse in the world except for telling you what actually happened. And what actually happened is you didn't feel like yourself. You admitted that. You did feel slow. You admitted that. But the real reason why you felt slow, the real reason why it didn't feel authentic, the real reason why you felt like, he said, I couldn't get there. He said, I couldn't. He said, I saw, but I couldn't get there sometimes. You couldn't get there because you didn't have that extra boost that you were used to having. He said, even during training camp, he said, it's like I couldn't get my, he says, like during training camp, he said, he's even doing his training camp, he says, it's like I couldn't get my, he says, like I couldn't get in the right feel, during camp for the fight. He couldn't, basically say, I couldn't get my mojo going even in camp. And you couldn't get your mojo going even in camp is because you couldn't train with your juice. You couldn't train with your steroids. It was a lot different because it was all you. It was naturally you. It was just you. It was nothing else. It wasn't no Austrian. It wasn't nothing to help you during training camp. It wasn't nothing to help you during the fight. And that's what you got, the product that you got, right? So instead of coming up here and telling y'all that, the whole goddamn weekend was boring, because it wasn't. It wasn't. But that's just the narrative you say when it's Devin Haney. I guarantee you this. I guarantee you this. Most people who are going to say that, and this just most people who saying it's boring are Tank fans. Now you ain't gotta ask them, but just know your history, know their history. Every time you hear most of the time when you hear that narrative get pushed that this car was bad, it was whack, it was boring, it came from a guy who you know is a Tank fan. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. You know, I guarantee you that. Right? I guarantee you that. Jose Ramirez got how many losses? Right? Jose Ramirez is an Olympian. You know what I mean? Jose Ramirez is not no street fighter. Jose Ramirez didn't start fighting in bars. Right? Jose Ramirez didn't come out the streets. That boy came from the Olympics. Devin just fought an Olympian. You know what I mean? And people will tell you, oh, he was supposed to do, bro. If you come in there to see Devin get a knockout, I don't know what fucking Devin Haney you been watching. What fucking Devin Haney you used to seeing. What fucking Devin Haney you know. What people wanted to do was, and I guarantee you it's a Tank fan. Anybody who got something bad to say, I guarantee you know for a fact that he's a Tank fan. Right? But I digress. Josh Sanders was good. Was good. He's out still enjoying the crash outs for a second. Oh yeah, DP. What's good, Josh? What's good, DP? What's good, DS? Shout out to my guy, TWTea. Shout out to my girl, Shay Girl. If y'all could hit that thumbs up for you, boy. We talking a little boxing this morning. I had to come say it because I knew nobody else was gonna say it. So y'all know since anybody else gonna say it, T go come say it. Because ain't nobody gonna talk about the real elephant in the room. What they gonna try to do is tell y'all that this fight card was boring. Right? What they gonna try to do is tell y'all that this fight card was boring. Ain't nobody gonna really address the real elephant in the room. And the real elephant in the room is what, DP? Why did Ryan Garcia look like a completely different fighter? You know what I mean? He looked like he's supposed to look. He looked like he would have looked against Devin. People, and then now let's really grasp this for my people who say, well, Devin didn't lose that fight because of the steroids. Devin didn't get caught with them hooks because of the steroids. The reason that they not going to tell you that right now is because they know that, yes, he did get caught with them hooks because of their steroid. Yes, it was the steroids because Ryan Garcia didn't even have the same output this time. Right? He didn't even have the same Ryan Garcia didn't even have the same output. You know what I mean? As far as his hooks. Didn't even have the same energy. He admitted to not being the same. You know what I mean? He admitted to not being the same. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what I just said, Teddy. Right? Ryan looked like himself. He looked like he would have looked that day against Devin. If you look at the fight actually with Devin, which is what I was getting to. People tell you that them hooks didn't help, that the PEDs didn't help them hooks reach. Yes, the fuck they did. They made him faster. They made him stronger. As you clearly saw, he wasn't as fast. He wasn't as strong in this fight. He said, I felt slower. Came out Ryan's mouth. 7 minutes, 40 seconds of his Fight Hub post-conference interview. The 10-minute interview, the 10-minute post-fight conference that Fight Hub go watch it. 7 minutes, 40 seconds. He admits to being slow in that ring. Oh, the PED's not gonna help you. That's Devin's defense. Ain't shit wrong with Devin's defense. Ain't shit wrong with Devin defense. Clearly, ain't shit wrong with Devin defense. If you take away them knockdowns, you take away them steroids. The knockdowns came from him being faster and stronger to land them fucking punches. If you take away the fucking knockdowns, Devin wins that fight damn near by 7 rounds. It's a landslide victory. It's an easy fight for Devin. Every time Ryan wasn't knocking Devin down, he was getting beat the fuck up. The entire time that Devin wasn't on the ground, he was beating Ryan the fuck up. The whole time. When Ryan wasn't landing the knockdown against Devin, he was getting beat the fuck up, Teddy. Beat the fuck up. The only thing that saved him was them fucking knockdowns. And this time, he ain't had the fucking knockdowns. You know what I mean? The only thing that was saving that boy was them knockdowns.
You took the knockdowns away, man. Devin win that fight by 10 rounds, Teddy. Get back. It was straight juice. It was hold on. It was straight juice. It was straight juice keeping that man in that fight. My bad. It was straight juice keeping that man in that fight. You know what I mean? Once he admitted, I can hear myself from there on that other door too. Once Ryan admitted, man, to feeling slow, that's all I need. My bad, y'all. Once look for my key. But once Ryan admitted to being slow, dog, that's all I needed. Once he admitted to not feeling like himself, man. Once he admitted to not feeling like himself, that's all I needed. Because hell, now you feel like yourself. Well, once you admitted to not feeling like you felt last fight, that's all I needed. Because you're not gonna feel like you felt last fight. Because last fight you was on the juice. Hold on. Gotta give me a second, man. I had a roll up, but I lost it. I don't know. Hold on. My bad, y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all thugging. But yeah,
He said back-to-back losses. He said Tank. Let me start right out there. Let me catch up with y'all. Shut up. He said if you take away the left hook, Ryan is a very limited fighter. Didn't even throw the left hook. Couldn't even throw it. Shut up. Shut up. Couldn't throw the left hook. Didn't throw the left hook. Want the same person. Didn't have the same confidence. Didn't have the same confidence. He said, I don't think Rayo is serious about the sport. Pay attention to his words. This was all to cheat Devin, a black man. Tank was smart to drain that KKK out. The Tank said Ryan only got a left hook. Said back-to-back losses against two black fighters isn't a good look. Lost to Tank, cheat Devin by any means necessary. And y'all telling me race doesn't play a factor. Can't fool DP though. Too wise. DP. Ryan knew this what that too. I don't necessarily think it was like the black factor, DP. This is what I think it was. I think Ryan knew if he lost that fight to Devin, he knew if he lost that fight to Devin, his career was over. No. He knew if he lost that fight to Devin, that his career was over. You know what I mean? He knew that was the last big payday he was gonna get. You just lost the Tank. Right? You come back. If Devin wash you, like Devin probably was, right? You just lost the Tank. You come back. You get washed by Devin, right? That's gonna put the spotlight on Tank and Devin. Ryan Garcia back was up against the wall, and instead of when Ryan Garcia back was against the wall, instead of him locking in, you know what I mean, digging deep within himself and pulling something out of himself that he might not know he had, he took the easy route and he cheated. You know what I mean? He cheated. He said, I'm not going to lose to Devin because if I lose to Devin after losing the Tank, my big paydays probably are gone. He was desperate, man. He was desperate. This dude is a fraud. He's everything that we thought he was. Or that he wasn't. He's everything that we knew he wasn't. And he had us tricked for a second. He even got the world to turn their back on Devin Haney, and he cheated Devin Haney. Right? He got the world to turn their back on Haney, and he cheated Haney. That's crazy, right? How he made Haney the villain, and he's the steroid user. You know, now I think that right there has a lot to do with race, DP. Right? How Ryan is looked at if he done it versus, you know, what if Devin would have went in there damn near killed Ryan Garcia, right? And then popped dirty for steroids. Like people tone to be a lot different. Devin would never be able. They'll be talking about that every day still. Devin will have no credibility. The same people who give Ryan credibility, right? They give it to him because of what he did to Devin. But if Devin had a pop dirty and did all that, they wouldn't be giving Devin that benefit of the doubt. Right? They won't be giving Devin the benefit of the doubt. They'll be killing Devin because they want to kill Devin anyway. You know what I'm saying? The only reason they're not killing Ryan Garcia is because he cheated Devin. Right? The only reason that they're not going to talk about, you know, the difference in what he looked like is because that would prove them wrong, what they've been saying the whole time. Right? That it was the left hooks. It wasn't the steroids. It wasn't the steroids that beat him. Right? It was Devin couldn't get out the way of the hook. Nah, man. Nah. If Ryan was still throwing them slow ass hooks like he was throwing against Rolly. Right? If he was throwing them slow ass hooks like he was throwing against Rolly, he wouldn't have been able to land. He was able to catch up to Devin. Y'all telling me that he couldn't catch up to Rolly's defense, but he could catch up to Devin's defense? Right? Y'all telling me that he could catch up to Rolly's defense, but he couldn't catch up to Devin's that he couldn't catch up to Rolly's defense, but he could catch up to Devin's defense. Now that man told you right then and there, man, I ain't feel like myself. I felt slow. And you didn't feel like yourself, and you felt slow because you were yourself. You didn't feel like a nigga that took steroids this time. That's what happened. You didn't feel like a nigga who took steroids this time because you was a nigga who took steroids last time. And that's what happened. That's the only reason you was able to even compete with Devin. Because if you take away those knockdowns, then you didn't even compete with Devin. I'm going to say that again slow. The steroids was the only reason, the only way that you was able to compete with Devin. Because if you take away those knockdowns, then you wasn't even competing with Devin. That fight was, if you take away those knockdowns, that fight was not competitive. The only thing that kept Ryan in that fight was him landing those knockdowns. Because every time, and I'm like, the fight within the fight, people saying, like my guy TWTea just said, I thought Devin would look like Ryan, like Rolly did against Ryan, right? And he did. Because if Devin don't get knocked down, he wins that fight by 10 rounds. Go back and watch that fight, right? Every second that Ryan didn't land one of those fucking hooks, he was losing the goddamn fight. He was losing the goddamn fight. Every second that Ryan was not landing a fucking hook, he was losing. He was getting out jabbed. He was getting put on the back foot. He was getting touched up. And then he'll spam a hook and he'll hit Devin with the hook. Right? Two things can be true. Now Devin couldn't get out the way of Ryan Garcia hook that night. But it was because Ryan was on steroids, not because Ryan just got magnificent punch placement, because Ryan don't get magnificent punch placement. Ryan is one of those dudes that throw a lot of shit on the wall and he hope it sticks. That's how Ryan fights. He throws shit on the wall and he hope it sticks. Son, see what you mean. Ryan go snap. Ryan go, me too. Me too. Ryan go snap those left hooks. He go snap those hooks wildly, uncontrollably until he catch you, which is how he got knocked out by Tank, right? You know what I mean? That man didn't even throw past 30 hooks. Didn't even throw. Skills was good, Skills. Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Shout out my guy, Skills. Skills said I put 5 on Rolly, won 105. And that's what you call a good goddamn day. I ended up taking Rolly on the live bet. So, you know, you got to love that. I also hit my Monster Anyway bet last night, 7 through 12 knockout plus 200. But I digress, man. Shout out my guy Skills. We're having a boxing conversation real quick. You know, I got to talk about what everybody not going to talk about, because what everybody go lead with today is what everybody been leading with through the weekend. You know, I've been listening to everybody. Everybody been leading with the fight was whack. It was boring. But I'm telling you, let's look beyond that. They really saying that it was whack and it was boring because Devin Haney was on it, and Devin Haney looked flawless, and Ryan Garcia got exposed. They can't give it no credit, right? Because Devin on it. Just look at certain people's tones when it comes to Devin Haney conversations, when it comes to give Devin Haney some credit. They never quite all the way give it to him. You know, they never quite. And they like they want to, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I think Devin had a good fight, but I ain't going to give them no, you know, they get real close and then they take it back. They say something nice and they say something shitty. You know what I mean? Say something nice and they say something shitty. You know what I mean? But nah, it wasn't as bad. Now Canelo card sucked. Right? They want to lump in Devin. They want to lump in that first card with Canelo. Really, you're talking about the Canelo card. Because Canelo main event was some shit. Rolly and Ryan delivered. Devin and Jose Ramirez delivered. T.O. and Barbosa delivered. You know what I mean? Really, you want to say Canelo card, but you go lump Devin card in there with it too, because Ryan lost and Devin looked good. So now your story that you've been saying for the last year is discredited because you saw Ryan look like a whole different fighter and you saw Devin not get fucking touched. You saw Devin not get fucking touched and you saw Ryan look like a whole different fighter. Ryan Garcia looked like Jose Ramirez. Fuck is you talking about? Which, like, Ryan Garcia looked like Jose Ramirez. Right? Ryan Garcia looked like Jose Ramirez. If you go back and you check it out, Devin neutralized Jose Ramirez. He made Jose Ramirez put his hands in his pocket. That's because Devin movement and ring and his ring movement and footwork was immaculate. He made Jose put his hands in his pocket. Devin Haney controlled the pace of that fight. The thing that's bothering you is the reason you can't give it credit is because Devin didn't get touched. Devin didn't get touched. People saying the way that Devin fought, blah, 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 blah. Now, the way that Devin fought, your favorite fighter ain't going to be able to beat him because your favorite fighter ain't going to land enough fucking punches to beat him. Yeah, that's what you don't like. I don't like Devin didn't get hit. Just say that. That's what you don't like. Devin didn't get hit enough. They go dress it to say, well, Devin won offensive enough. Devin gave y'all offensive Devin Haney. Y'all still shitted on. Y'all been shitting on Devin for years. Y'all shitted on offensive Devin Haney. Y'all shitted on defensive Devin Haney. You shitted on defensive Devin Haney Friday. You shitted on offensive Devin Haney versus Haney-Garcia and all them. Right? People say I thought he was gonna look like he looked Regis. He fought pretty much fought him the same way he fought Regis. It's just that Jose Ramirez is not fucking Regis. He's better. I'm sorry. He's better than Regis. He's not a street fighter. Regis was a street fighter. Regis started boxing late. Jose Ramirez is a fucking Olympian. Jose Ramirez would have beat Ryan Garcia that night. Jose Ramirez will beat fucking Rolly Ramirez. Crazy man. He'll beat him today. Crazy man. Jose Ramirez will beat Rolly today. Fuck is you talking about? Nah, I didn't expect him to dog Jose. Whoever dogged Jose Ramirez? Name me one nigga who dogged Jose Ramirez. Name me one nigga who styled on Jose Ramirez. Styled on. Nobody styled on dude. Dude dropped Barbosa. Dude dropped fucking what's the nigga the white guy from Europe, the nigga used to be the man. White guy, Josh Taylor. He dropped Josh Taylor. He dropped fucking Barbosa. Fuck is y'all talking about? He ain't dropped Devin Haney. He couldn't even hit fucking Devin Haney. Ramirez got 3 losses. Guess who he lost to? Niggas who going to the Hall of Fame. And Devin Haney is one of them. Fuck is you talking about? He lost to niggas who was going to the Hall of Fame. He lost to Josh Taylor. He lost to Teofimo Lopez. I mean, who he lost to? Who he lose to before Josh Taylor? Who Ramirez lose to before Josh Taylor? Oh, he lose to after Josh Taylor. He lost to Josh Taylor and somebody else. He lost to Josh Taylor, Devin, and who? Who was that third guy Jose lost to? I bet you he going to the fucking Hall of Fame too. I can't remember the name right now. But I bet you he going to the Hall of Fame too. Jay Gia was good. What's good, Jay Gill? Niggas talking about, I thought Devin was going, you thought Devin was going to look like what? Not you, Teddy. I'm just saying, Jay, but what you saying, Teddy, is what a lot of people saying, right? About, I wanted offensive Devin. No people, I wanted offensive Devin. Nah, y'all want to see Devin get fucking cracked. So you can say, look, he got hit with them left hooks again. You see them left hooks he got hit with? He still getting hit with them hooks. He getting hit with them hooks. Look, them hooks, I told you, that's the stuff gonna get him knocked out against Ryan. You see that? That's what got knocked. Them hooks, boom, look. Jose landing them. Jose ain't landing out a motherfucking red, blue hook. He probably landed like. Devin ain't get caught with a hook till the 8th round. He probably landed a few. But that's what they wanted to say. That's why they gonna call it boring. That's why they say, I wanted Devin to do more. Because if you throw in more offense, that means they give you more chances to get hit. Man, Devin Haney put it on motherfucking Jorge Linares. Devin Haney got hit one time in that fight, and that's all motherfuckers talked about. I'm going to say it again slow. Devin Haney got hit one time in that motherfucking fight by Jorge Linares. That's all motherfuckers. They didn't tell you how good of a fight that was. They didn't tell you how Devin was on the front foot. They didn't tell you how Devin was fighting the inside against Jorge. They didn't tell you how Devin was the aggressor against the heavy puncher Jorge Linares. They didn't tell you none of that shit. What they said was, oh, he got caught with that one punch. Look, he chinny. Look, I'm being goofy. It's my goofy word. Look, he got caught with that one punch. He chinny. They didn't tell you none of that shit. They didn't tell you Devin has some good offense that fight. When it come to Devin, motherfuckers go give you the reverse side every time. You know what I mean? He went in there and he beat the fuck out of Regis. What people say? Oh, Regis ain't got it. Oh, Regis trash. Oh, Regis ain't got it. Oh, Regis trash. Regis ain't nobody. Regis ain't this. Regis ain't that. Oh, Regis ain't nothing. Regis ain't never been that good. Regis can't box. Regis this. Regis that. Regis went from being one of the most dangerous men to being nothing after a Devin Haney fight. That's crazy. I see the game, man. Praise tank opponents, praise and raise tank opponents, diminish all Devin opponents. I see it. Niggas kill Loma until Tank want to fight Loma, and now you got to dust off all that shit you killed about Loma and make it good again. Now you got to dust all that off. I see people who trying to kill Keyshawn Davis, a 6-year-old, 27-year-old, 25-year-old. I see people trying to kill Keyshawn Davis, a 25-year-old, for fighting Edwin De Los Santos because of some Tank shit. So you mean to tell me a guy who is 5 years younger than Tank can't fight Edwin De Los Santos? Remember I told y'all a while back that Tank got a glorified prospect resume? You know it's a fact because people are mad at a prospect for fighting Edwin De Los Santos because people was mad at Tank for fighting Lamont Roach, who not in his division. Right? Who not in his division. It's just that like the narratives, man. King Judah was good. King Judah said Devin listened to his real fans. We told him to never trade punches again because the haters will hate him no matter what he does. Yeah, facts, Judah. Yeah, facts, Judah. Offense, whether it's offensive Devin, whether it's defensive Devin, bro, they not gonna give that man no credit. Because if it's defensive Devin, they gonna say, if he don't get hit with a left hook, they gonna say he boring. If he get hit with a left hook, they gonna say he need to work on his defense. Devin need to check his game plan. Devin need to check his game plan. His game plan was bad. The game plan was bad. Okay, so now my game plan is don't get hit at all. Oh, that was boring. It was boring. No, it was the worst card I ever seen in my life. That was the worst card ever. Worst card ever. Yeah. Devin didn't get beat up. I hate it. I hate boxing. Devin didn't get beat up. I hate it. Devin didn't look trash. I hate it. I hate the world. Devin did good. Let me throw some hate on it. It was the worst weekend ever. Worst weekend ever. Worst weekend. Nah, this fight. Hey, watch this. Let me tell y'all something. Watch how many people don't be talking about the fights coming up this week. This is the week. This is the worst week ever, right? Because you ain't watching it. Crazy, man. You watched last week because you wanted to see them motherfucking stars. You made sure you watched that shit. You want to see them goddamn stars. This is the worst week of boxing. Tell me who's fighting this week. Anybody. Tell me who's fighting this week. Tell me who's fighting this week, y'all. Tell me who's fighting this week. This is the worst weekend of boxing, not last week. You just want to hate on the fight card last week. Come on, yeah, right, Skills. He's in any way been down twice, and they never say he shouldn't. She said Devin was hitting Ramirez with them body shots had in the hospital. Hey, Shay, hold on, Judah. I got you, Judah. I want to talk about what you said. I want to talk about what you said first, Shay. And I want to talk about my guy Skill said. Shay, do you realize Devin Haney put Lomachenko, he put Ramirez, and he put Kambosos in the hospital? People gonna say, well, everybody go to the... No, they don't. Devin didn't go to the hospital after his fight, did he? You saw Devin sitting in the crowd. Watching Ryan Garcia fight, right? So everybody get checked by the doctor at the arena. You don't have to go to the hospital unless you feel the need to go to the hospital, right? So for Devin not to have done nothing, right, Shay? Niggas don't like, well, I say people don't like boxing, Shay. People really y'all really MMA guys. Some of y'all boxing dudes, y'all really MMA guys. Y'all just don't know it. Babe, come here. Babe. I digress. You know what I mean? So Shay, they gonna tell you, like they gonna try to, like they gonna say that shit don't mean nothing. They gonna tell you that Devin didn't do no. So why the fuck is Ramirez in the hospital? And I just told you the process of how that shit works. Everybody don't go to the hospital. You only have to go to the hospital. It's a doctor at the arena to actually avoid you having to go to the hospital. You only got to go to the hospital if the doctor tell you should go, or you feel like you want to go, or you need to go. So niggas that's going to the hospital, it's not just protocol. Because why didn't Devin follow protocol then? Devin was sitting there watching Ryan Garcia fight. Devin didn't go to no fucking hospital. Devin didn't go to the hospital against Loma. Devin didn't go to the hospital against Cambosis. So no, everybody don't go to the fucking hospital. But y'all gonna tell me Devin didn't do shit, right? Devin didn't do shit. So why the fuck is Ramirez in the hospital? Why the fuck is Ramirez in the hospital? Right? Everybody's protocol. Devin didn't go. Ryan Garcia didn't go to the hospital. Newsflash. Ryan didn't go to the hospital. So, man, make it make sense to me, man. Make it make sense to me. My guy King Judah said, Inoue been down twice, and they never say he's chinny. Right, DP. So that means Devin did something right? So that means Devin did have some good offense, didn't he, DP? He broke some ribs, right? He had some good offense, didn't he? Devin can't punch, Devin this, Devin that. Devin out here putting motherfuckers in the hospital. Multiple. Loma, Ramirez, Cambosis, hospital they ass. But anyway, I digress. King Judah said, anyway, been down twice. They never say 10. Right. You never hear that. You never heard people say that. And then what they tell you, well, those was flash knockdown. They probably go, that was flash knockdown. That was flash. Devin got dropped by 3 times by a nigga on steroids and still got up. Facts, King Judah. Fast King Judah. You never heard nobody say that. They only say that shit about Devin. Ryan Erickson Lubin. Are we getting to a point where y'all niggas are only calling black fighters chinny too? It be a lot of black people on some weird ass shit. Now, y'all let Ryan get away with PEDs. Facts. Doodle just pointed out y'all call Ryan chinny. Y'all don't got none of that smoke for anyway. You know what I mean? Y'all don't got none of that smoke for anyway. It be you niggas, bro. It be your own folk. And I ain't telling you to like Devin because he's black. I ain't telling you. I'm just saying I see your energy is different with this young black brother than it is with everybody else in the fucking boxing game. We can see this shit. I just want you to know we see this shit. Whether I love you, whether I hate you, just know we see this shit. We know it. And I'm looking for it. I'm all over it. So I know I know how people halfway go give them, I know people not go give them credit. I know how people halfway go give them credit before it even happened. That's why a lot of times I don't even got to watch a lot of people because I already know what they're going to say. I can tell from the narrative that the media set. I know what a lot of y'all going to say from the narrative that the media set. Whatever the narrative that the media set, y'all run with it. The narrative was that this fight card was boring because Tim Bradley said it. Y'all, it's a bunch of Tim Bradleys. I see a bunch of big head ass Tim Bradleys. Know what I see? Bunch of big head ass Tim Bradleys. Yeah, fact, Shade. He's the new Wilder and EJ, Shade. Pretty much. He's the new Wilder. He's the new nigga to hate on. Tim Bradley said that, oh, that was boring. This going to be a real card. This going to be a real fight. I bet you some real fights today. Real fight. You see a real fight. And then anyway started. Tim Bradley was switching up on anyway. In the middle of the fight, oh, he dropped in you. Oh, my Tim. I hate niggas I hate fucking Tim Bradley. Anybody who tell me, y'all like Tim Bradley, bro, you a flip-flop ass nigga. Because that's most definitely a flip-flop ass nigga, Tim Bradley. Y'all going off a Tim Bradley narrative that all the fights was boring. No, I never let Tim Bradley lead my motherfucking way. Never lead my motherfucking narrative. Never. Tim Bradley will never lead my motherfucking narrative. You know what I mean? If I'm going to be right, I'm going to be right with the facts. If I'm going to be wrong, I'm going to be wrong. I'm going to stand up with the fuck I stand up. You will never catch me riding the wave. Man, Tim Bradley told y'all that this weekend was boring. And now everybody running with it. I know what y'all going to say before y'all say the shit. That's why I don't watch some of y'all no more. Some of these dudes, bro, used to be some of the best fucking party kickers, some of the best party starters, some of the best content creators I know. But I used to love going to that shit, just watching her and cook. But now I know the fucking narrative. I know what you're gonna say before you say it. I know what you're coming with before you even say it. You know what I mean? It didn't get to a point where I'm better than a lot of these niggas that I used to look up to doing this shit. That's why I don't really do this shit the same way no more. Because I realized that a lot of these people at this point they bought or they got a side or they a narrative. Go. You know, I can't even really get jiggy with it no more. You know what I mean? I can't even get jiggy with them no more. I think they're good people, but I just can't. I can't get jiggy with the word. I know what the gospel is. What's good, skills? I know what the gospel is. You know, as I said last year, boxing is being rewritten before our eyes. The slick back fighter is the most feared. So now boxing from outside means you're losing even if your opponent can't hit you, right? And people are riding with it. And people are riding with it. You know what I mean, Judah? And people don't get it. People trying to be so different, right? They really hating on Devin, trying to be so different, right? You trying to be, but you really not different. You just like them. The shit that y'all be pushing on Devin, you sound just like them. You're not being different. You're being them. And then you'll go in there and you'll praise everybody that don't look like you. You'll get in there and praise T.O. You'll get in that motherfucker. You'll praise Canelo. You'll praise in your way. You'll praise fucking, you'll praise fucking everybody. And then you will fucking kill Devin. I heard somebody say, man, Rolly said this dumbass shit and people was agreeing with it. Rolly said, nah, let Ryan and Devin fight and then they come fight the big dog. Lil' bruh. First of all, Devin resume 10 times better than yours. Second of all, Devin got 2 divisions too. Third of all, Devin got an undisputed. In what world you would never see me jump on with T.O. and say, yeah. You would never hear me jump on and say, yeah, y'all two, and then the winner fight Rolly. Bro, why the fuck you crap? Rolly not the A side to no fucking Devin. What is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? On the same shit that Skills on. I'm not fighting Ryan. If I'm Devin, I'm not fighting Ryan. I'm fighting Rolly. Rolly talking about y'all two fight. And then I deal with now. If now, dog, fuck that. I'm going straight for fucking Rolly. Ryan is dead. Ryan is already out the picture. Right? Fact, Shay, Ryan is a bum that got lucky. Ryan is gone. Ryan is out the picture. I want Rolly now, and that's how you close that chapter on Ryan, because you go in there, you outclass Rolly, you beat Rolly, you make Rolly look slow, you make Rolly look like, you know, I don't want to call Rolly a bum right now because Rolly just beat Ryan, so I'm gonna give him some credit because I don't like Ryan, so I'm happy Rolly beat him. But you made Rolly look like exactly what he is. Ryan is a fucking fraud. That's why Rolly beat Ryan. Ryan is a fucking fraud. The biggest fights of Ryan Garcia's career. Let's have a Ryan conversation for a second. My bad. Let's have a Ryan conversation for a second. The biggest fights of Ryan Garcia's career, y'all, he lost them. He lost them. He lost the Tank, right? Then he came back, and then he cheated Devin. And then he came back, and he lost to Rolly. Y'all remember how bad people used to talk about right now? Me, because I actually was, people were so hard on Ryan, I used to try to give him a little leeway, right? But y'all remember how bad people used to talk about Rolly? I used to try to highlight, Ryan. I used to try to highlight Ryan's athleticism, right? I'm like, man, Ryan got fast hands, right? Ryan got good power. But, you know, Ryan feet terrible, his IQ low, you know what I mean? He thought that he spammed the same punches, right? And people was killing him, right? That's what Ryan was before, you know, this Devin Haney fight, right? Your biggest moment is beating Devin Haney, and you didn't even beat Devin Haney. Ryan's biggest moment is beating Devin Haney, and he didn't even beat Devin Haney. Your win from Devin got taken away because you used steroids. Before that, people thought you was an unserious, bum. You beat Devin, now you get a little respect. You pop dirty. You pop dirty. DS. Now him right there, you can shoot. Don't block him. But him right there, you can shoot. You can shoot him. Y'all can have fun with him. Right? Y'all can have fun with him right there. Don't block him. Let him, but you know what I mean? But anyway, I digress, because right now he's trying to throw me off where I'm going. Because I'm about to say some real shit. Right? Before this Devin situation, Ryan was a unfocused, unserious bum. He beat Devin. He gets some credit. The win get taken away. Your next biggest fight, you get 12-1, goddamn it. The man got outboxed by Rolly. You went and you got outboxed by Rolly in your fight after Devin Haney. Every time it's a big situation, it's a big fight, Ryan Garcia blows it. Now, blows it. I call Ryan the bomb. I'm talking about Ryan right now. If I said Rolly, my bad, I'm talking about Ryan right now. Ryan lose all of his big fights. You know what I mean? I'm talking about Ryan. If I said Rolly, I meant Ryan. Ryan is the one that's the fraud. Ryan is the bum. Ryan is everything that we thought he was before he fought Devin Haney. You know what I mean? He a fraud. He's fake. His biggest win is not even a win. His biggest win, he cheated to get it and got it taken away. Outside of that, he's losing all his big fights. What I'm saying is Ryan Garcia never beat the narrative. He's never been a champion. He's the only guy in his era that has not been a champion. Ryan Garcia. Devin been a champion. Rolly been a champion. Tank been a champion. Raymond Ford been a champion. Everybody that came up in that time. Richard Hitchens is a champion. Richardson Hitchens is a champion. Even Montana Love. Montana Love been a champion before, ain't it? No. It might have been the interim belt. Might have been the secondary Montana. So I throw Montana Love out. Everybody that came up in and around him. Bam Rodriguez. Everybody that came up in and around him. Brian Norman Jr. Everybody that came up in their little class after Earl and Keith and Bud and all them, everybody after that class is a champion right now, except Ryan. He go out there, he pulled his fugazi move against Devin. He get a little credit. Then he go out there and lay an egg against Rolly. Back to what he was. But that man is a fraud. He's the biggest fraud in boxing. And you got people out here defending him because they dislike Devin. You got people out here defending him solely because they dislike Devin, bro. That dude's the biggest fraud in boxing. If you can't see that one with the fucking PEDS, that man like a whole different fighter. He look like a whole different fighter, dog. Even his attitude was different in the lead up and all that shit. You know what I mean? He was a completely different man, bro, from when he fought Devin. Smaller. He was more calm. He was fucking slower. And these are things that he admitted to. Go check his post-fight interview out. I'm not saying nothing that this man ain't already admit to. He admitted to feeling slower. He admitted to not feeling the same. He admitted to being off. He admitted to not being able to land. He admitted to not throwing a bunch of hooks. He admitted to all this shit because he know he didn't have his Skittles. He didn't have his juice. He didn't have his potion. He didn't have his lotion. Shay, he had tits. You know what I mean? All that you got to rebuild that up. It's gonna take him at least a year to rebuild his body to get it like it was. It's gonna take at least a year to rebuild his body to get it like it was when he fought Devin Haney. I get out an example, and I know y'all probably ain't gonna like, but y'all probably ain't gonna like this, but I get out an example. Alyssa Bumgarner, right? Alyssa Bumgarner. Alyssa Bumgarner kind of been away, right? But when Alyssa Bumgarner first got that shit, Alyssa Bumgarner finally got her body look. It looked like it looked before the allegations. You know what I mean? You know, because she always been posting pictures. She used to post pictures. Go look at some of her pictures from like 2 years ago, right? And look at how much definition she had. Go look at some of her pictures when she first got caught with the steroids. It softened up a little bit. But you look at her body now, she got her tone back. She got that definition back. It's going to take you at least a year or so. It's going to take you at least, I know California Love, that's why I used her. It's going to take her at least a year or so, at least Ryan Garcia a year or so to get his body to look. And with Ryan Garcia and his work ethic, Bumgarner actually got work ethic, right? She actually do work out. She actually is a gym body, and she took a little extra. Ryan Garcia is not dedicated like that, so his body is never going to get back to looking like it looked when he fought Devin or before. He would never look like that again, dog. He would never look like that again, dog. It's going to take him at least a year to get his body back to where his body needs to be. You know what I mean? Conor Benn did the same thing, right? When Conor Benn had his first 2 fights in America, he was a little flabby, right? He had a gut. He had titties, right? He was a little chubby with them 2 fights in America when he fought, what's the guy named? The black guy in Florida. Forgot his name, though. But he had 2 fights in America. I remember Conor Benn. He was kind of heavy, right? But when he fought Eubank, he had his definition back, right? He had his muscle back. It's going to take you at least a year of hard work and dedication to get your body back for real to where you thought it was when you was on them steroids. And Ryan, let me tell you something. Ryan don't got dedication like Conor Benn. Ryan don't got dedication like Alyssa Bumgarner. So Ryan probably never go get his fucking speed back or his body back. Ryan is probably fucking done. Ryan gonna be back to fighting fucking bums. Ryan was desperate. And Ryan took that goddamn steroids to beat Devin Haney because he knew if Devin Haney washed his ass and put his ass in the dirt, that his career was over. He said, I'm not finna lose to Devin Haney by any means necessary. I'm finna beat him. So he took fucking steroids because he was fucking desperate. He had no other choice. He had his back backed up against the wall, and he panicked, and he took the fucking steroids. He got a win on that night. He felt good. Come to find out, you know, his ass on the juice, got the win taken away. We fast forward, he fight fucking Rolly. He looked like shit. But yeah, my bad. I feel like I was saying something important, but my bad. I started multitasking. But hell yeah, man. Yeah, facts, Ryan is a bum. But hell yeah, man. That dude is a fucking fraud. His biggest moment got taken away. He's just smoking on that Haney-Garcia back. His biggest moment got taken away, right? He lost the tape. He came back and lost the rolling. He's everything that we thought he was, man. And that's nothing, bro. He's nothing. He tried to sneak him a Devin Haney win. He was desperate. Back was against the wall, and he panicked. DP said, don't let Derrick James off the hook, T. What you mean, DP? What happened? What happened, DP? What happened, DP? I don't know if you're still in the building. My guy DP said, don't let Derrick James off the hook. What you mean, DP, man? What happened? What Derrick James do? He just said, T, subscribe to my page. Can I drop the link? Yeah, bro. Go ahead. Yeah, let that thing ride. Let it fly, my G. Let it fly. That's why you got a wrench. That's why you got a wrench, my brother. But yeah, shout out my guy DP Rocket. Don't let Derrick. What happened with Derrick James? Let me see. Let me just do this. See if maybe y'all. Maybe. You know. But what Derrick James do? You said it was a bad game plan? I don't think it was a bad game plan, man. I think Ryan just trash, bro. He said Derek is actually training a racist. He trained that racist. Oh shit. Oh shit. All right. Okay. So let me say this. Okay. Let me say this about Derek. Right. Okay. Let me say this. Okay. So I see where y'all go with it. I see where y'all go with it. All right. Okay. So let me say this. So Derek lost Errol Spence, right? Like Derek got to pay bills, y'all. Like he got to pay bills, you know. And I'm pretty sure he getting nice money training Haney-Garcia. You know what I mean? So maybe he not gonna train Haney-Garcia for long. You know what I mean? Maybe Haney-Garcia out might be Derrick James, but Derrick James trained you when you was fighting Devin too, though, right? So, but right, shade and skills, but who like I'm not like I can't pay Derrick James bills. You know what I mean? You know, I can't pay his bills. You know, we can't pay his goddamn like we go like what? You know, Moors are Moors, right? But man, you know, he's not a fucking racist. He worked for one. You know what I mean? I do this. I do this. I say this, right? We having a real conversation right now. Everybody got jobs and stuff, right? Are we so sure that the people who own our companies, are we so sure that the people that we work for aren't or are racist? You know what I mean? Let's just say we work at let's just say we work at FedEx, right? Fred Smith. I know Fred Smith not racist. Fred Smith from Memphis. It's a Memphis. I use him because that's from Memphis. He not racist, but let's just, we just an example. Let's say we work at FedEx, right? Fred Smith's son used to play for the University of Memphis too. He used to play quarterback and he switched to safety. Was never that good. But do we know? You know what I mean? So I'm just like, man, like make your money go, make your money feed your family, go home. Right? Make your money feed your family, go home. Make your money go home, feed your family. That's what I mean. My bad. I said it in the word. Make your money go home, feed your family. Make your money go home, feed your family. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm getting at. Like, that's tough. That's tough. Said they never came out loud. Said it's different. Yeah. I mean, I try to stay like, that's a lie. He's in Ryan Public Car, African American, and where DJ still trained him. And he was sure that I said that no excuse since Trump got back in. They are being more open with it. Yeah, I agree with that, but man, all right, now y'all got that. Y'all got a dude like me, I feel like all them folks are. All them companies in, I could dig up, man, it's that's a different combo. Like it's a lot of shit. It's a lot of people we can't fuck with. Skills, what I'm saying. A lot of people we shouldn't fuck with, right? And I ain't saying fucking around. I just don't even get into shit like that. I just stay away from when they got to do with people, livelihoods and pockets and shit like that. I just try to stay away from them because I'm not paying Derrick James bills. I'm not paying Derrick James $600,000 a month. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. I don't even know how much it is. I'm just saying. I just know he's the higher you live, more money you make, more times the higher your means are. When you really shouldn't, it really shouldn't be that way. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like we shouldn't be watching boxing, right, DS? In a sense, you feel me? We shouldn't be supporting their product. Ryan is one. He worked from one. He come from one, right? They put the product out, right? So we just gotta stop watching. That's why it's a fine line between shit like that. So I just try not to. People I could say like some people feel like a nigga who sell weed is a bad guy, and then you got some people feel like A nigga who sell weed is just trying to get by, feed his family, right? You know what I mean? You got some people who you got it's tough, man. It's shit like that. Morals are morals, but who morals are they? You know what I mean? Because your grandmama morals are different from your morals, right? Your granddaddy morals are different from your morals. It's some shit that your granddaddy probably would have never done, right? That you do. But that don't mean that you are, you know what I'm saying? So morality, it's a little respect, morality, money. You know, morality is morality. Like it's base rules for morality, right? No women, no babies, right? Y'all know what I mean when I say that. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't, right? It's base rules for morality. No women, no babies, right? But then it's also, you know, I'm not going home. They're not going home with Ryan Garcia, right? Like I work at FedEx. I think he racist, right? Not for real. I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm a guy that work at FedEx. My boss. I don't like how he talk to black people, right? You know, but you can't just. You got a life to live. You got shit to do. How the fuck we get on? How the fuck we get on real life conversation? You supposed to be talking about Ryan Garcia being the. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm just bullshitting. Good convo. Good convo. Y'all all right. I ain't saying none of y'all wrong. I ain't saying none of y'all wrong. I ain't saying none of y'all wrong. I ain't saying that one of y'all wrong. I'm just, Now, if you were saying like his game plan or something like that, we most definitely could get into that, right? The game, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know about that. I just can't. That'd be a lot of things. How much y'all, okay, look. How much y'all think Ryan made for this fight? How much y'all think Ryan made for this fight? However much he made, right? Let's just say Derrick James got 20%. Right? So if Ryan got 10 million from this fight, which probably got more, Derrick James got what? A meal. Then Ryan got 2 mil. Then you got 2 mil if I roll it. I think he got more than that. I think he got 2. But let's just say he got 2. That means Derrick James just got 200,000. Right? So I'll give him about 100. So let's just say Derrick James got about 200,000. Right? I think it's more than a mil though. Skills. I mean more than 2 mil. But I think Devin them got 2 mil. Guaranteed to. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, so Derrick James got what? Let's say 200,000. You know what I mean? So shit, Derrick James, man, that's 200,000 that he would have missed. He could have got it somewhere else too, but man, he gonna make good money. He gonna make the most money he make fucking with Ryan Garcia. Right? That's all I'm saying. Now y'all got me being on his side. Don't say shit to get me on this. Don't say shit to make me favor this nigga, man. Right now we supposed to. I'm killing this nigga because motherfuckers gave him so much premature credit for beating Devin, right? And even after he popped dirty, they still said, it was Devin's fault, right? They still said it was Devin's fault. But now that he came back and got his ring returned, they'll try to tell you that it was Rolly. Rolly made him do that. Devin not Rolly, right? But it came out Ryan Garcia's own mouth that he felt different this fight. He said he didn't have it in camp. He said, I ain't having it count. He said, I ain't having pre-fight. He said, I ain't having in the fight. He said something just fell off. He said he felt slow. He said he didn't feel like himself. He said he saw openings and he couldn't get to them. Yeah, that's because you wasn't on steroids this time. That's exactly what it is. It wasn't just because Devin couldn't get out the way of those hooks, right? Devin couldn't get out the way of those hooks because you were faster, you were stronger, right? He didn't even throw as many hooks this last fight. He wasn't as strong as he was last fight. Didn't even have the same energy that he had last fight. There was a completely different person that Devin Haney fought and that Rolly Romero just fought. Why y'all think DP says something like this, DP? But I'm gonna bring it a little bit back to what DP said in the sense of the corruption. DP was speaking about corruption. Corruption Corruption 101. Why y'all think motherfucking Devin didn't fight Ryan Garcia right off of his first fight? It's because they knew something like this could happen. Even the powers that be didn't really want Devin to go in there and wash Ryan Garcia ass right off the PEDS, because they most definitely was going to prove that it was the PEDs that made that bill. If Ryan Garcia and Devin both had came back the way that they came back this time, Devin would have outboxed his ass just like he did the first time without the knockdowns, right? From what Devin looked like and what Ryan Garcia looked like. Ryan Garcia was slow as a bitch. He was slow as a bitch. Didn't look like his power was there. He was slapping. He was throwing slapping hooks at Rolly Romero. He was only throwing jabs. He damn sure can't out-jab Devin. We already saw that. You know what I mean? Devin did a magnificent job of keeping his hands up and keeping his chin tucked the whole fight. Devin actually looked better at 147 than he looked at 140. You know what I mean? He actually looks better here, more energy, right? So people saying Devin didn't look this. First of all, his defense was an A+. So you got to be talking about his offense, right? You got to be talking about his offense. Devin pretty much, he controlled when punches were thrown, how they were thrown, where they were thrown. He controlled the pace of the fight, where the fight took place. Devin controlled everything. It's more than just sitting there throwing a fucking 100 punches, y'all. I'm telling y'all, need to be watching MMA. Some of y'all really do need to be watching. Some of y'all are really, y'all don't know. Y'all actually got MMA mindsets, right? Y'all got MMA mindsets watching boxing. You know what I mean? Right? Y'all talking about Devin didn't sit there, he didn't throw 200 punches. Nah, but he controlled every punch that was thrown. Every punch that was thrown on his time and his pace at Devin's say so. You know what I mean? Devin did, people were saying Devin didn't look, that wasn't ring rust. A man with ring rust doesn't move. It was, I guess, ring rust as far as the timing, but he had his timing down about fourth, fifth round. You know what I mean? What people really want to see is more punches. That's what they want. That's what they wanted to see, more punches, right? His defense was on point. He had no ring rust on defense. What he did was what took a little minute to get back was, the offense. But Devin never been. Well, he did turn into a guy who throw 100 punches and shit, right? He did do that for y'all. You know what I mean? But those days did, right? Because when he did that, y'all talked about him getting hit with left hooks. So y'all either want him to get hit with the left hooks or you want him to do defense, right? Or you saying find a common ground to entertain me, blah, 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 blah. And then when he did that against Linares, he only got hit with one left hook. All you talked about was him getting hit with the fucking hook. And still all you talked about was him getting hit with the hook when he gave you a balance, right? So he did it if he do, then he don't. But as far as what he looked like, his defense was an A+. His offense was a fucking B, right? Only thing you could have really expected was him to trade more. And I never expected him to trade with Ramirez. Never once did I expect it. That's what people say to discredit him, right? That's what people say to discredit him. I never thought he was going to trade with Jose. What I thought was going to happen, it looked exactly like I thought it would happen. He would use the ring. He would be defensive. And he would jab. And he would throw body shots. And he would fucking move. He's Devin Haney. That's what Devin Haney do. If you expect anything else, I'm sorry. Right? I'm sorry. But it's a reason he's undisputed and your favorite fighter's not. It's a reason. Mostly for shit like that. But I digress, man. I appreciate y'all folks sliding through this thing, man. Skin the heart away, Southern T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. But this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love. That boy a fraud. That boy always been a fraud. The only thing he had going was that Devin win. Now that Devin win got taken away. And y'all want to tell me that it wasn't the steroids, right? That's why Devin lost. It was because he couldn't get out the way of the left hook. Well, Devin went out there and he didn't get caught by no fucking hooks, right? And you still talk shit about him. But pertaining to Ryan, he only threw fucking 30 hooks against Rolly. Couldn't even throw the same number of hooks. You know what I mean? Look like a completely different fighter. So that whole it went to PED shit, y'all got to throw that shit out the window. That dude had a whole different demeanor leading up to the fight. That boy was roid raging that whole fucking Devin Haney fight. And Devin kept saying, bro, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You're not taking it serious. You're not taking it serious was because Ryan was so pumped up on them fucking steroids. He couldn't control him goddamn self. Spazzing, being happy, not being happy, yelling at the camera. Mine didn't do none of that shit this time. You know what I mean? Real rage. That man was a completely different man. That man he a completely different man off them steroids. He's a completely different fighter off them steroids. I think the whole mental anxiety, mental issue in the first place is because he fucking taking the steroids and is fucking with his body. Right? I think the whole thing that happened with his ex-wife and ex-girlfriend, that thing, I think because he was taking the fucking juice and is making him a person that he's not. I think everything that Ryan is going through is because of them fucking steroids. That's why he's so fucking calm now that he's off them some bitches. And I think he started taking them steroids right after he lost to motherfucking Gervonta Tank Davis. But I digress. Skinny Hardaway TWTea again. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. But this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.